It's a brand new sound for radio.
See the clouds and let them be. Keep every story of your days a mystery. Hear the songs in the breeze. Sing out your wins and trials like a melody. Ride the storms with your head held high. We only breathe till the day we die. Bring on the fire, bring on the rain. Nothing can take you down. Crashing like thunder, steel in your veins. Nothing can take you down. Light a flame inside your heart. See every finish line before you reach the start. Raise your fist to the sky. Lightning and mountaintops are made for you and I. Morning comes when the nightfall goes. Don't turn back to the road below. Bring on the fire, bring on the rain. Nothing can take you down. Crashing like thunder, steel in your veins. Nothing can take you down. Bring on the fire, bring on the rain. Nothing can take you down. Crashing like thunder, steel in your veins. Nothing can take you down. Nothing can take you down.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Yes, so hello, Lamont.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Welcome to Everyman Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, I've just recovering from a cold. It was quite, yeah. It knocked me out really completely for over a week, and I'm really only just kind of getting back into the feel of things, and it's just interesting because here in the UK, and I think much of the world at the moment actually is a big pandemic scare, coronavirus. Which is, well, it just makes things irritating because I was trying to buy paracetamol a few days ago, and the place I went, they didn't have any because of the scare. Everyone was bulk buying paracetamol. Anyway, I think you call that Tylenol in your country.
Right. Well, I have one better than that for you, Rich. I told everybody to go out and get some old English 800. So you have an old English 800 fighting the corona.
Okay. So what is the old English 800?
Old English 800 is a very popular malt liquor out here that's basically rot gut beer, but it'll get you there in 2 seconds flat. So I say if everybody go out and get an old English, then they ain't got to worry about the corona.
It's pretty true. Sounds pretty true. Yeah, so Lamont, yeah, please tell us about yourself. What is it you do exactly, if that's okay?
I think a better question, Rich, is what I don't do. I don't know. I've been in the music industry for music for many years. Starting out as a sax player, then a singer, and then from there I went into production. From there I went into artist management. From artist management, then I went into having a record label. So now I'm an actor and producing film.
Oh, wow.
So, over my 40 plus years in the industry, I've worn several different hats.
Okay. And so you say film, you're involved in film at the moment? Or is that...
Yes, we're producing stuff for TV as we speak. So that's my new passion, because it seems that everybody that's involved in the music industry eventually wind up in front of a camera, and vice versa. All the actors want to do music, and all the musicians want to do TV and film. So it's a natural synergy there. And as you know, nowadays, Rich, you don't see a TV show, a commercial, anything without some type of music in it.
Yeah, very true. And so in the music field, what is it you are most well known for, or you most enjoy in?
Well, let me see. What do I most enjoy? I most enjoy actually putting stuff together from scratch, and cultivating it all the way through to a finished product. And I mean, it's almost like being a chef. I stole that from Quincy. It's almost like being a chef, where you take various ingredients. In this case, we're talking about different artists, different musicians. You take all these different elements and put them together, and you come out with a finished product, which is the dish. So I think, for me, I like hands-on putting all these different components together and come out with something that's enjoyable.
Okay. It sounds good. So where could I listen to some examples of your tracks or that you're involved with?
Well, worldmovement.com is my website. So that's where our music is. That's where links to my radio shows,
Oh, right.
artists that I've worked with, and everything about the company. You could be fine there. And I guess nowadays everybody is computer literate. They know how to Google people, so that's always a good way. You can Google somebody, and everything comes up, even things you don't want to come up. Everything comes up.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, I'd like to have a look. And so at the moment then, do you you say you played, was it that you played the saxophone, you play the saxophone, or are there good examples of that you have? Or...
Well, I played the saxophone for many years, but I was fairly young at the time. And when I was playing a horn, it's because I didn't want to play a flute and being the section where most of the females were. And at that particular time, without dating myself, there wasn't many good saxophone role models. I mean, we had Sonny Rollins and John Coltrane and some of those jazz greats. But later on in life, then came Maceo Parker with the Horny Horns that, was with James Brown and
Ah,
Bootsy
yeah.
Collins and some of the others. So, the horn and the sax players, got a little bit more recognition then. We didn't have the Kenny G's like we do today. So for me, I found out, well, playing the horn wasn't all that gratifying. I needed to be out front, you know what I mean? So I put down the horn and grabbed the microphone. And we always sang in church. I think just about all the singers came through church one kind of way or the other. So I did that as well. So I found out that was more exciting for me, is to have a microphone and have the little girls out there screaming and stuff. So, I was an impressionable young youth. So I found that to be more exciting and more gratifying. And so that's kind of like what I ended up doing, getting in front of the microphone, and kind of one thing kind of led to another. So I'm still here 40 something plus years later.
Yeah, it sounds great. And so whereabouts are you in America at the moment?
What was the question, Lee? I'm sorry?
Whereabouts are you physically in America?
I'm in the West Coast, in the Los Angeles area, near Hollywatts. Everything pretty much is going on in Hollywood, New York, Atlanta, in terms of, the music business. So I'm kind of here in the trenches where kind of everything is going on, where all the movie studios are, where all the music artists always look to come to.
Okay. And what is it you're working on the most at the moment, or wanting to develop?
Well, right now, I just finished taping my segment of a new show called About That Life. I just finished filming that Sunday. I also have a new show that I'm working on as we speak, called Get the Bag, which is a comedy series similar to Next Friday with Ice Cube and Mike Epps. It's a comedy series that started out in New Orleans that runs through Las Vegas and Los Angeles, about these two young recording artists that want to be promoters, want to be in the music business, but they got everything all backwards. And it talks about them, borrowed money from some not really nice guys. And of course, they do a couple events that flop. And these guys want their money back. So the two stars of the show, they run all across the country trying to do different stuff to come up with the money. So it's going to be a very, very funny, entertaining type movie.
Mm.
And we're putting together a really slamming soundtrack to go along with it. So that's the big thing we're doing right now.
And so you say that's actually a movie, feature film, not a series as such.
Yes.
Wow. No, that sounds great.
Well, everything is full circle for World Movement, which is my company. I'm positioning my company, and I've been working on this for many years, not only to be a record label, but a full service entertainment company where we publish books for people, we record their music, and we have our TV and film division stuff going on. So that's been my life's dream, to be able to do everything under one umbrella.
Okay, and so you have artists working within World Movement, I presume. Can you say a little bit more about those, that other people that you work with?
Well, right now we have guys like, Snoopy So Fly, which is a recording artist out of New Orleans. So he's been with me for about 4 years now. Very talented writer, producer, actor. He's a hip hop artist. And matter of fact, this movie that we're working on now, Get the Bag, is one of his brain children. Uh,
Okay.
and we have actors that we're dealing with, such as Antonio Fargas, who's was Huggy Bear. Everybody remember him from Starsky and Hutch or
Okay.
I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. A lot of movies in his credit. Um, we have Millie Jackson, who's a legend in the R&B world, vocalist. Let me see, Hawthorne James from the Five Heartbeats. Another friend of mine, Keith Wheeler, that's on Bad Boys 2 right now. So we're looking for this to be, I guess, Christmas holiday season release. Another funny movie that hopefully everybody will go out to see.
Wow. Yeah. No, that sounds great. It's a lot to a lot to manage, a lot to get your teeth stuck into. I don't know.
Yeah, it is, but I think if you've been doing stuff long as I have, it's kind of part of the natural progression. I mean,
Mm.
I come from music. The last 5 years I've been doing a lot of acting on a lot of different shows. Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder,
Oh
uh,
wow.
Better Things, NCIS, Criminal Minds. Um, I just worked on a few weeks ago, actually a couple months ago, on this new series, a new show that's on Amazon Prime, The Wedding Year. So I just been busy, just doing a lot of on-the-job training, as they say, and working on everybody. Well, I'm too old to be going to acting school, so if you go to work on somebody's set and appear in somebody else's film, you still making contacts. You still learning what goes on behind the scenes, and you just basically learn the business from another perspective. Because I come from the music, I know music, but I'm not as knowledgeable as I am in music and TV and film. So the only way that you could get that education and knowledge is either you go to school or you do hands-on training. So
Mhm.
I decided to do hands-on training, leave the ego at home because nobody care who you are over there. You know what I mean? So, I got myself into this, like I said, the last 4 or 5 years. And so I've worked on pretty much all the TV shows that's out there. So that's helping me produce my own things and know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. 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 It's fantastic. And have you seen things change? Sorry, it's a really silly question. Of course, they've changed, but are there ways that are changing that are beneficial, positive, or things that you're concerned about?
So, I talk about, Rich, I talk about this a lot on my show, which is actually on Wednesdays for my music show. When I started out in the industry, we didn't have what we're doing today. We didn't have the internet. And I talk to a lot of young artists about this. I come from an era where there's record stores on every corner.
Mhm.
We had one stops, and in order for me to get a CD to you, it might take a week. You know what I mean, or two. And it wasn't even CDs then; it was vinyl.
Yeah.
That we're going back to vinyl. So the industry was a whole lot different in how record labels would, serve their product to, their fan base. So with the invent of the internet, I've watched everything change, is because there was a time where in order to have a studio, you had to have a whole lot of money. Nowadays, you could have a digital studio for less than $10,000. And with that change, then here come iTunes. So everybody could make their music available, through
Mm.
some of these other aggregates, the iTunes, the Spotify, the Mixcloud, whatever. Everybody can put music out there. Now we move to the record companies and the A&R departments. There was a time where the A&R departments would go to a club or to a local venue or a pub or whatever and hear a band. Now they go to the internet and look at your views, your likes, and so on and so forth, how many hits you got. And if they're impressive enough, then they'll come out and see you. If they're not, they won't. But that don't mean that you're not a great act, because I see a lot of great acts fall through the crack as a result of that, because they don't have the team in place that do all the social networking for them. So, I've watched it change in that aspect. So it's good one way and it's bad in another way.
Yeah, so I think I'm picking up, is it that artists now, people starting out, it becomes the actual marketing of what they're actually producing becomes almost more important than the actual music they're producing? Or am I don't know.
I think I understand what you're saying, but I think it's half 50-50, because you really got to have that marketing ability just to get somebody's attention, unless somebody walk you through the door. So that part is important, but I always tell artists, study your craft, get you together. You know what I'm saying? Because if your craft is how it's supposed to be, where it's supposed to be, and you can stand on your legs, your own 2 feet, can't nobody really deny you, and you're going to be blessed at some point in time. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, but it's going to come. And like the old people say, if you get, how they say it, if you get ready, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Okay.
Yeah, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So I encourage all the artists out there that may be listening to this show, get you together. Fix you, because you don't never know when that opportunity may come. And if you get this opportunity and your stuff ain't together, man, you just blew it. And who knows how many of these opportunities you're going to get. Only God knows that. So stay ready. Practice, and figure out why you're in this business. Are you in this business to make music for yourself, or are you in this business to make music for the world? And once you come up with that decision, then that's going to fuel your passion. Because some people say, well, I'm in this business to make money. Well, you may or may not get that money. It may not come, but if your music ain't tight, your performance is not tight, your presentation is not tight, well, the money's not going to be how you think it's going to be either. So fix you first.
Yeah, no, that sounds very good advice in almost every walk of life, I would think.
Yes.
And people don't really as much as they should do, or I don't know. Yeah, that philosophy I do agree with a great deal. You have to really sort your own stuff out first. Really, people aren't going to do it for you, or well, they might, but it's not quite the same.
I get this question all the time, Rich. People come to me, well, man, could you get me any shows? Could you book me on any shows? And my question is, well, what have you done? and that's like a straight question. What have you done that would warrant me or any other promoter to want to hire you to do anything? Because if you don't have any name, who's going to pay to come see you? And it's no sense me booking you in my venue for me and the sound guy. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. So, but can you get me any paying jobs? Well, who would you pay to go? Who would you pay to go see that don't know you? Who would you pay to go see that you don't know? You know what I mean? You wouldn't. So the same thing applies to you. Who's going to hire you that don't know you? Because when I came up in the business, Rich, I would have to pay a promoter. I paid to be on their stage. It's almost like pouring a little gas in the carburetor to get your car started. You know what I mean? You have to prime the pump. Once you get a name for yourself, people will pay you to come perform, but ain't nobody gonna pay you that don't know you, because they're gonna have a whole bunch of empty seats in their venue. So now we're back to that thing I said a moment ago. Fix you. Get your market value up before you start asking somebody to pay you. Because they're not gonna do it. They're not going to do it. It doesn't make sense as a business person for them to do it. Why would they want to have you in there when they can have a name in there that's going to fill their venue where they could make some money?
Yeah, it's very true. And I do love interviewing musicians. So one of the podcasts I did last year, I was right at the beginning of last year, was a Matt from Soundstripe. So one of the, where we will get licenses for music to choose to play on our podcasts. And I always enjoy the interviews with the musicians because I just love the fact there's great music to then play with to accompany the conversation. What is it? What style of music, or do you actually particularly enjoy to listen to yourself?
That's a loaded question, Rich. I personally listen to comedy. I mean, if you're in the donut business, when you get off, you don't want to go to a donut factory. You know what I mean? I personally like listening to comedy, but my company, we're not genre specific. What I mean by that is good music is good music all around the world. It really doesn't mean, it doesn't matter of the genre. I mean, there's good rock, there's good rap, there's good gospel, there's good blues. So there's a lot of great music out there, and it just depends on where you are as a listener and your preference. I actually like people that's out of, I say Europe or London, some of those places, because to me, they're more of audiophiles. They're more into the music per se. And I used to tell a lot of people, well, if you leave the country and you make it out of the country, you automatically accept it when you come back here to the States.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's just my feeling that good music is good music all around the world, because I may not understand the language, but if my head get to doing like this, then I'm going to listen. You know what I mean? If it's almost like the Pied Piper. I mean, if you get the people that's really listening and you get their head moving or something about the groove of the music or whatever, it's a happy up tempo, whatever, you get them and then they go listen to the lyrics. If you don't get that part of them, they don't care what you're talking about. They could care less because they're not going to listen. So to me, good music is good music all around the world, and it doesn't depend on the genre.
Okay, no, that's good. And so, what comedy do you like then? That interests me.
Oh man, now we finna get real silly. People gonna think this is crazy. I love Family Guy. I love American Dad. I think they have some fantastic writers on there. They don't leave anyone untouched because they talk about your mama and everybody else. And I just like the writers of that show.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if I've seen it myself, actually. Family Guy and I know, yeah, we, of course, in the UK, we do get a lot of the American media. I'm just trying to place it myself, Family Guy. I just, yeah, I don't really know.
After the show, you go look it up, Family Guy and American Dad. And if you watch one of those shows, man, you're going to find that they're hilarious. And they got great writers, too. And they're adult type comedy, adult cartoons, should I say. But they have excellent writers on those shows. Excellent writers.
Okay. And so do you have your own venues then as well that you manage as well, or they are ones that you have in your own list of favorites that you would use and frequent, or I don't know?
Well, I'm not really booking artists anymore to do performances like that. I kind of like stopped doing that. And as far as my record company is concerned, we deal a lot with finished product because I've been through the studio thing all day, all night. You know, I've been there, done that. I don't really care to do that anymore. I done got a little older, and I need to go to sleep when the sun go down because I get up when the sun comes up. So in terms of venues, I don't really do that anymore. We do more of the distribution and the promotion part of the business. I deal with a lot of finished product. They bring me that, but I'm not a booking agent. And I have that conversation with a lot of people too, in terms of, can you get me this? Can I do that? Well, I'm not a booking agent. That's what booking agents do. Well, can you manage me? Well, what do you have to manage? Managers manage. You know, your next door neighbor that might work at a gas station, he might want to try to manage you, but he knows absolutely nothing about it either. You know, but an established manager, that he's going to ask the same question. Well, what do you have to manage? I mean, you don't need me to tell you how to go take your clothes to the cleaners. But if you have nothing to manage, I have nothing to do. But most of the time when these young artists, they're seeking managers, they're really looking for investors.
Okay.
They just don't know the terminology. You know, a investor has a role, a booking agent has a role, your manager, all those three things, you know, they all got different job responsibilities. And it's important for people to know those things, because a booking agent is not going to touch you if you don't have nothing to book. You have to have something for him to sell. A manager, what is he going to do with you if you don't have nothing to manage? It's not his job to put together your pictures, your bio, or your EPK. That's not your manager's job to put that together. It's the artist's job to come to this guy with those things already in place. But again, you know, young artists is coming up in the game. They don't really know that. And so they come with guys like me, and I have to tell them the truth. Go fix you. Go get you together. You can't come to me because I'm not going to put your pictures in your bio together because I'm still doing my own. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like how I see that one.
Okay. That's great. And what advice then would you give to someone starting off then in the music field? I don't know. Would they? Am I being kind of, sort your stuff out, or I don't know. Does it depend on what type of music people are doing and where they should focus their energy, or they want to get well known or get their music publicized?
Well, the first thing I would say, get your stuff together before you step out. You know, practice. When people say practice make perfect, well, God didn't make any perfect people, but you can get as close to it as you can. But like you said, ain't nobody gonna slam the door in your face, man, if you got your stuff together. That's the first thing. Second thing, don't expect anybody to believe more in you than you. You have to believe in yourself first, you know, and don't ask anybody to do anything for you that you wouldn't do for them. So keep your stuff reasonable. I mean, keep your expectations reasonable. And if you do those simple things by putting your package together, and nowadays, you know, like we talked about a moment ago, you know, you don't have to go into $200,000 studio. I mean, you could record a nice digital project very inexpensively nowadays. I mean, people, you know, back in the day, we used to make demos. Today, people don't make demos no more. They make records. You ain't got to demo nothing. I mean, when you go in a studio, make sure you're doing the best you can the first time. You know, so you don't have to keep going back fixing stuff. So I would definitely suggest and advise, based on in the business, that you know, people will get their stuff together first. You know, and when you approach somebody, you know, have you together. Give them something that they can really appreciate. Give them a reason to want to talk to you. Give them a reason to want to work with you. And you can't go into a situation with that ego. You know, leave that ego at home. You know what I mean? I mean, you have to humble yourself, man, because there's a lot of starving out there that's looking for an opportunity, and it's easier to find artists than it is to find opportunities.
Okay. Yeah, this is fantastic. And do you have anything coming up that you're keen about or wanting to promote or publicize, or what is it you're lighting your fire at the moment?
Well, Get the Bag, which is coming out of my camp with the artist that we just mentioned that. We just finished About That Life, which will be available on all the television networks shortly.
Okay.
So we're doing that. And I'm just continually working. I mean, like I said, I'm happy to work with, guys like Antonio Fargas. So I didn't mention Poo Poo Man, who's actually, his real name is Gene Anderson, who's been with George Clinton, the Parliament Funkadelic family, for 28 years. He's one of the actors on the new show as well. And I'm just happy to still be on this side of the dirt, still doing what I do. And hopefully we can continue to put out good product, good music, and I continue working with great artists, because that's what keeps me youthful and energetic and happy about working this business, even though I quit every day. But I start right back the next day because I don't know nothing else to do. This is what I've been doing. This is who I am. I'm a producer, and producers produce. So, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about my shows such as yours, which is I Am Indie, and the show that I do on relationships on Sundays called Can I Play a Play, which, we deal with politics, relationships, and self-help things. So I've been doing those shows for like 14 years.
Oh, wow.
And, I'm very excited about that. And hopefully God will give me the ability to do it for, quite a few more years to come. Yeah.
It's fantastic. So, and those shows, people can access them via the website that you mentioned?
Yes, the music show, I Am Indie, you can see that on blogtalkradio.com/indie-izz. That's INDYIZZ. And the show that's on relationships, politics, self-help, all that other kind of stuff, that's also on blogtalkradio.com/PLAYA. And, or, you could just Google me, Lamont Peterson, and links to the radio shows will come up, links to the music stuff come up, stuff that we're working on in the past and currently. All that stuff will be available. You can't hide today on the internet, boy. They find out everything. So, yes, we're also looking for some great music for the soundtrack for Get the Bag. So if any artist is out there listening, they can contact you, Rich Sawyer, and in turn, you could forward the music to us, and we'll definitely give it a listen. And if it's something that we like, feel strongly about it, hey, they may look up and have a song on the soundtrack and may even possibly be able to do a walk-on.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Yeah. Opportunities beckon.
Absolutely.
For the right people, yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds great. And thank you very, very much for your time. Been lovely talking with you. And wish you the greatest of success.
Oh, same here. And thank you for having me. And hey, if you need anything, just a phone call away. I know it's a little hectic to get us going this morning, but but we here and we done it and we were successful with it. So that's
definitely, definitely. Okay, well, cheers. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
And now it's time for some hilarious comedy on Everyman Radio.
fantastic Technogadgetbore show is proudly sponsored by webscontent.com. Fast, secure and reliable.
Fast, secure and reliable web hosting from Web's Content.
Hi Technogadgetbore. I've got a question for you. Can you tell me, does social media make people happier, or does social media make people more unhappy?
Yes, and thank you, Richard, for your question. It is a very good question. Does social media help? I think it depends on who your friends are. If you have good friends, then you can have good advice from your friends on the social media. But it's a problem for many because they don't have very good friends. So I think best to ask Mr. Technogadgetbore. He is your friend, and so if your friend is Technogadgetbore, then you'll get good advice. So good luck, and thank you very much for the question, and keep asking question. It's a good question. I like question. And be sure to tune in to Mr. Technogadgetbore.
It's a brand new sound for radio.
Thank you for listening to Everyman Radio. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends on social media.
Goodbye.